Carlos Rodon.
Jam it everywhere. Jam it in all your holes.
Okay, Chris.
So here's the thing. Like, I think he's, DeGrom is available, Verlander's available. I think Rodon is the best option for any starting pitcher available. And I know he's kind of scary in terms of his injury history, but so was Zach Wheeler. And Zach Wheeler was roughly the same age when he signed with the Phillies, and he looks like a damn bargain now. And you could probably get him for the same kind of contract, like $5,120, which is a fair amount of money. But Rodon has been awesome the last 2 years. I know he stumbled a little bit 2 years ago when he got injured, but he was really, really good again last year. And it's going to cost you a draft pick or whatever, but that's a true ace on the market, and that doesn't really come around that often. And he's 30, not quite 30. I think I'd love to have a rotation helmed by him, but that's my opinion there. That's why I'm jamming it.
All right, AJ.
I'd jam it depending on the type of contract. If he wants, a 4-year contract with opt-outs after year 1, 2, and 3, that's not a contract I'm really willing to give up. It's the same reason, like, I thought Carlos Correa's contract last offseason was ridiculous for the Twins, right? But Rodon's proved. I mean, we saw him. Did we see him twice? I know for sure we saw him in San Francisco when we played them. Can't remember if we faced him when they came to Detroit, but I mean, he's got the stuff, and he's good enough to anchor, at the top of the rotation and kind of fill that hole that Eduardo Rodriguez was going to fill. So I would, especially with our lack of arms at this point, because of all of them being on the shelf for the majority of the season next year, you got to make a play at somebody like him for sure. So I'd jam it, depending on the contract, if he doesn't want an opt-out after year 1.
Yooper, what about you?
I'm going to come down on Slam It. I don't like shoulder problems. I know when he was with Chicago, I was always listening to Steve Stone whisper about that shoulder. Obviously, he proved him wrong. Had a great year last year in San Francisco, but if we're going to go long-term with somebody, again, they need to build a lineup. There's no power in their lineup. I think that's where their efforts should be focused, and then where they should marshal their money this year. And, there's a lot of pitching down with injuries right now. They've got to be hoping that the following year, a bunch of those guys are coming back. So I'll slam it.
All right, you're going to slam it. All right, John, sorry, you're going to have to go into the high voter. I'm going to slam it too. Just because the injury. Look, I know the Tigers, I'm slamming it. I like Carlos Rodon a lot. I know that he would be a great addition. And what the Tigers did, again, getting these coaches that are really good with recovering with injuries and everything, the medical staff, they're doing a lot of that because they realized that the medical staff last year was horrendous and didn't do a good job. So, or whatever the case was. Again, we don't know for sure, but in the case of Casey Mize, we kind of know. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to slam it. So, John, you have to vote again.
I'm slamming it too. If I want a starting pitcher this offseason, I think that's important, but I want one on a shorter term contract. And I don't think Rodon's going to settle for another short term contract. And like I said, the injury history, that's a good point too. So I would worry about that too. So I'm going to slam it.